excited that we get it finally shooting here.
Yeah, man.
It's been a minute. We've been putting it together. Still a little bit of things we could do to it, but this is the new podcast room where we could do all these things. It's going to be sick.
Popped up.
Texas
in every way.
Hell yeah. Well, you just got back from your tour. Are you taking a little break? How many stops did you do before you guys came back home for a little bit?
We did 3 stops. We did Houston first, then we stopped in Tampa, and then we did Miami, and then we did Atlanta. Yeah, we was in Atlanta for about 2 weeks.
So how did this tour first really come about? Like, what made you guys want to start going on tour? Did you have people on social media telling you, hey, we want you to come out here? Or was it just kind of like a spur of the moment thing? Or?
Well, when I seen that the tour, that you can even be able to tour is when Dez Bryant was the first one that booked us for a pop-up, a tailgate pop-up that he did right across the street from the Dallas Cowboy Stadium. And the people, they were selling the tickets for $88 to come in to be a part of the pop-up.
Like to the tailgate?
Yeah, just to the tailgate. Those were the tickets was costing. But he had me booked, and he had bought all the meat, so I couldn't sell his meat, to the people that was coming up, knowing that we was there.
Yeah.
So I had told them that I would be back. You know what I'm saying? To step up and serve them and bring the food trailer back from Utah all the way to Texas, man. We drove it out there, and at that point we landed in Dallas, and we was not prepared for what was gonna happen.
Why?
Yeah. It's just the volume aspect, man. It was hot that time of year, and it seemed like, man, it was 1,000 people out there.
It was always hot in Texas every time I've gone, but
super hot.
So there was just way too many people, and the volume as far as you just didn't have enough meat, or you just didn't have enough workers, or what was it?
It was all 3 of them. It was the meat, it was the workers, it was the equipment to be able to cook that amount of volumes to feed people. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I invested my money into, was being able to have a piece of equipment or pieces to be able to accommodate the crowd that's gonna come to get these oxtails when we pop out.
Yeah. So is that mainly why you got that new pit then, Candy?
Right. That was the main reason for Candy, because she's able to get out big volumes. You know what I'm saying? You stay out there through the night, you cook 3 big loads up, you could feed 1,000+ people.
Yeah.
Without no problem. And taking honey with us as well, that's another 500 gallons you add to the equation. So yeah, man, it's just being able to have that volume, because you don't want to get them people out there standing in line, and then you run out, and then you got a massive line of people that's angry because you run out of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've experienced that more than a few times.
Yeah.
Being out there, your line is long. These people been waiting, so now you got to kill the line because you run out of food, or you have to wait another 6 to 8 hours to be able to prep and even cook oxtail.
Well, that's the thing is, once you run out and there's people waiting, they're going to have to wait there for a while, because barbecue, when you're smoking meats, takes a lot longer than, say, if you were going to grill something.
Right.
And plus it's going to taste better anyway, so sometimes it's worth the wait. But what do you do when you, because there's always, all the tours and the locations that I've been, there's been lines out the door of people, and they just keep coming and coming and coming until you run out. So what do you tell the people who are in line, who are waiting, that when it runs out?
A lot of times we try to accommodate the people that's left in line by doing the pre-orders. So we'll do the pre-orders with them, and if they want to, they could come back at a certain time and pick it up the next day. And that works too. The thing about that, though, is the next day you have a new line of people.
Yeah.
And so they see those people walking up, coming to the line after they done made pre-orders. And that right there can, go either way as well. They're like, why are these people cutting? And then you explain, they was in line yesterday, and
then you're gonna have a brawl going.
They wanted to prepay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really just, man, being able to knock them lines out. And this last time we was out, we was able to knock them lines out.
Yeah.
There was a few hiccups during the tour. If I would grade ourselves on those 4 cities, I would definitely give us a C plus, C. And the main thing, first things first, we made it back home safely. Everybody made it back home safely.
Yeah, to and from.
Right, to and from, because we went across the country.
Yeah.
And then we all made it back safe. And then we didn't tear up no equipment. You know what I'm saying? The pits came back in one piece. All the vehicles came back in one piece. So that's always a plus. But the reason I say C is because there's a lot of ways that we can improve as far as work ethics, planning. It's just a lot that we can improve on. And then there's a lot of moving parts in LES BBQ sandwiches. There's one umbrella with three businesses running up under it. So you have the online, which is at lesbbq.com. You have the store, and then you have the touring. And all this has come from just LES BBQ sandwiches. So with all 3 of those operations running, I have to have my mind, thoughts being in on all this, the meetings. There's a lot of growth that's going on. So when I know I'm getting off the subject, I was just thinking about while we was talking how we ended up back here.
Yeah.
And having to come back and to look over all of this and make sure that it's running and everybody is following the standards. Like, we got a lot of new faces. We got over 15 employees working for LES BBQ sandwiches
Which is more than you had when you left here
to
go on tour.
Right.
So you came back and you didn't even know anybody.
I didn't know none of them. We walked in the store, I was like, man, look at all these new faces. So it was amazing what the team did and put together while we were gone. But at the same time, I have to be here to oversee that, you know what I mean? Because there's still a lot of teaching to be done.
Yeah.
A lot of teaching.
And it's like, one thing a lot of people don't realize too, is with barbecue, it's still a lot of trial and error, even when you're as experienced as you are. So even going on these tours is a whole new learning experience, because it always looks good on paper, but then once you get out there, it's just something totally different, whether it's even with the temperature or like even the climate or anything like that. So how do you kind of adjust to a lot of those changes? Like when you get out there and you realize, okay, this isn't working, what do you do to kind of combat that challenge, I guess?
Yeah, and it's always a lot of going against elements. Like, people don't know, like, when we was in Tampa, there was these major hurdles we was having to climb over. We were getting all the oxtails that were frozen solid.
Yeah.
Frozen solid.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, because you got to let them thaw out. It takes at least 2 to 3 days to let those oxtails thaw out. And those oxtails I had never had before. It was so much fat on them.
Yeah.
So much fat.
So then it took longer for you to trim them once they were thawed out.
Right. It took long to thaw them out.
Yeah.
Then you had to trim them, then season all of them. When we got to Tampa, I think we started off with 275 cases. That was around $24,000 worth of meat off the top.
Damn.
$24,000 worth of meat.
So how many oxtails do you think that is? Like, so
When
how
you
many
cut
loads?
softball,
How many loads on the pit on like candy
that
can you
probably was
actually
like
get from
4
that?
loads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2 and 2. That was 4 loads of oxtail. We cooked them for 2 days before we sold out all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then,
So it's 2 loads a day, basically.
right, because I had the crew to where we was working days and nights.
Yeah, that's hard, man.
So yeah, you got to be able to trust people to cook your food, because you can't be out there at every time.
Yeah.
And all time of the evening when your main purpose is come out here and meet the people who support you. And that's how I was able to do that a lot during this tour, because I had a team in the background that's been trained, to cook. Was everything perfect? No. It's never going to be perfect. All I ask that the people that roll with me, if you give me 90%, I'll be satisfied with that, because I can fill in the rest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So what city do you think showed the most love and the most support when you were on your tour? I know all of them did, because you sold out pretty much every night. But is there like a certain city that kind of just hits different every time you show up?
For sure, it's Atlanta. It seems Atlanta is one of the biggest markets. Houston as well, but Houston is where I was raised at. All my family, my sister, a lot of family members stay back in Houston. But it was just a short notice for Houston, because they didn't really know that it was a last moment deal. We were supposed to be in Miami Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
But at the last minute, we swapped it over to Houston. And but Houston always shows us love. You know, it's always good to go back home and be able to be around my family members and you know, give them an experience as well. But when we're talking about numbers, it's Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured each location probably be a little bit different. And each location probably has a different barbecue style too.
Right.
That they're used to.
But I'm gonna tell you, Miami was like I don't want to just pinpoint out which one was the best.
Right.
Because I just go off for the love, man. Like Miami, it was an unbelievable amount of love. It was so many people came out. It was hot though. Ooh, it was hot.
I know.
Man, Houston was hot too. I damn near died. Telling you, man.
Me too. I was only out there for a day. I was dying.
You know what's so crazy? I worked in that weather all my life.
Yeah.
All my life I had been in that weather, but I've been in Utah since 2017, and I've got acclimated to the colder weather.
Yeah.
So when I got to Houston, oh my goodness, I sweated like a dog.
It's not even that. We have a dry heat here, which is totally different.
It's totally different
than Houston. Like my camera was fogging up, like all sorts of stuff was going crazy. Cameras overheating.
It's that
never happened before.
It seems like mist is in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
insane.
it's brutal. And but yeah, I always enjoy going back to Houston because that's the roots right there. But yeah, we looking to hit Charlotte when we go back out. We're gonna hit Charlotte. So one thing I want to tell everybody that follows is I appreciate all the love and everybody that supports us every day. But one thing I want to do when I'm out on the road is give you the best experience I can possible when it comes to barbecue, and just being there to be able to meet people. I want everybody to love LES BBQ sandwiches when we do these pop-ups. Come out there and see a taste of food. I want everything to be quality. So that was another reason I come back here to make sure when I get back out there, there's no mishaps.
Yeah.
Like you only get one shot in barbecue. You know what I'm saying? You get one shot to impress these people. So I always tell the people that are around me, make that one shot count. Make it count.
So what are those things that you're going to implement going back out, knowing kind of what you know now?
First of all, I damn near need me an oil field crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just hardworking dudes?
There's hardworking people, man.
Yeah.
Hardworking people that don't want to do nothing but work. That see what I see and sticks to the standards, the quality and stuff like that. And when I was working on them rigs, those was the kind of people that I worked around, and everybody loved what they was doing. So I've realized that in order for me to be successful at continuing on, I got to make some changes in that era right there.
Yeah.
And I got to do a lot more teaching. And even myself personal, I have to be more involved when we out there as well. You know what I'm saying? Like my biggest fear is, it's not a fear, but it was always my biggest worry is allowing other people to do the cooking. Because I know how I want it, coming out.
Yeah.
And when it ain't like that, I ain't happy.
Right.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
it does.
What's crazy, too, is each location you're going in is like hundreds and hundreds, if not like thousands of miles away. So how do you stay consistent with everything? Is it the same crew that you're bringing everywhere, or do you hire people that are at the different spots? And especially, how do you get in your meat? Is it from the same supplier, or is it from somebody different? Because every time I've had Oxtails every location, that I've showed up to or whatever, and they all taste the same. It's all the same stuff, but it's kind of hard for, I guess, my brain to ravel how you're able to stay consistent, because when we went to Vegas, we were having the hardest time even just finding the right wood.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So do you have like a certain supplier just throughout the East Coast and the West Coast and where we're at now that has the same product, or it's the same person?
Well, Tampa had a different brand of oxtail. I had never used those before, the ones with all the fat on them.
So that was just like you were coming in blind to oxtails you had never even worked with before.
And it was 2 times that we got oxtails on the road that I had never seen before.
Yeah.
My main oxtail to use is Swift. And the main reason I use those because they don't have a lot of fat on them and they got plenty of meat on them.
Yeah.
That's why I use Swift.
Right.
Swift, I'm looking for a deal. Yeah. But yeah, man, I use the hell out those Swift. That's the best one to me. That's gonna give you, the plenty of meat on them.
Yeah.
And as far as the crew, I had my normal crew that we took out. But it's all about trial and error. You live and you learn, and you just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And while we was out, we hired people to come out and help. At the same time, you got to hire people to do the plates.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I could do it by myself.
No.
So you gotta get people to help with that. And then you gotta think, man. You got like a day to teach them standards, how you go. So you cannot watch every plate that's going out. So
and it's not like they're sending you a resume
to
show like work experience.
Right. And all I hope for coming from the fans is that something ain't the way that they like it, just bring it back to me. I'm the kind of person that will give you your money back or replace it. A lot of times the replacements happen because they come to me and be like, hey, look at this, look at that. So I'm like, yeah, just change it out. You know what I'm saying? With no issues. And then you go to the people that's, helping you out. Hey, I want y'all to do it this way. Make sure we right. It's just all kind of stuff that comes with serving barbecue on the road.
Right.
And those same standards, you got to teach to all these youngsters in a restaurant, that we're training. You got to be willing to teach people. You got to be willing to trust people. I didn't realize business was going to be so hard to get started.
No, yeah.
It's tough, brother. I literally gave in this brand all of me.
Yeah.
All of me. It gets all of me every day. I don't have no days off. I can't say, you know what, I quit. In Atlanta, I can't jump on a plane and fly back home. Like, I got to get my equipment back. Like, so this brand has taken all of me.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you what, I would not take any moment back because every day, even though I never owned a business before, I get sharper and sharper when it comes to business.
Yeah.
By being around good business people, by going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a question that, like, I know a lot of business owners get. Yours is growing so quickly that, like you said, your time management, and like I'm surprised you even have time for family or anything like that, but you seem to make time. What is your time management like when you're on tour, since you're working all the time? Because I know your family comes out there with you. Not all of them, but a lot of your family still. Yeah, they still come out there. They stay in the Airbnb. They do all that stuff. So do you guys set time aside on one of those days of the tour to actually just kind of make time for family? Like, do you guys arrive early? Do you guys leave a little later? Or how does that work?
To be honest with you, when we're on tour, we haven't really had a lot of time to enjoy the cities that we're in because the meat you're in a rhythm. Everything's on time schedule. And while we was there, we got a few days off as we traveled to the next city because we left Houston on a Tuesday, we left on a Monday, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those was free days. So when we was in Florida, I took the guys fishing.
I saw that.
I took them fishing just to get away for a little while. Didn't catch nothing, but we did get out there. And as far as my kids, I really straightened out on that, man. I had dedicated so much time into this that I noticed I was missing my kids' football games. Yeah. But this is what we all prayed for. My family, my wife, my kids. Like, we went out to sell food in the beginning. It was never about, hey, I'm gonna go out and sell food so I could be famous.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought like that. That never crossed my mind. All I wanted to be able to do was to buy the food, cook it, and have people buy it. Right. But at the same time, I wanted it to be quality. I wanted them to see what they see in the video.
Yeah.
So I've really started working on my time management, especially with my family, because one thing I know that tomorrow ain't promised, and when I'm dead and gone, this will still be running.
Yeah.
So I want to enjoy it with them while I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was another question I had is, what is your plan? Because a lot of people have plans when they start businesses. They either buy a business and they build it up to the point where they could sell it for millions of dollars or something. They exit with like millions of dollars. What's your plan for LES BBQ? Are you wanting to just kind of keep it in the family, or are you wanting to hand it down to one of your kids and hopefully they'll hand it down to their kids, or are you planning on hopefully it's big enough now that somebody can come in and really grow it to maybe what it,
its potential.
Yeah.
And
that's a hard question.
I never I don't want to sell barbecue all my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of other things that I enjoy doing that I would like to get into. I would like to get into the consulting part, you know, of consulting businesses to help them grow, sharing my ideas and stuff like that with them. Matter of fact, I got a guy drawing up a contract right now to where we can present to people to help them consulting. But it's just another thing I add to my table.
Right.
You know, somebody asked me that a while back, and I believe that I want to build it up and sell it. That way I could just we'll have the time to get into whatever else we want to do. But at the same time, they're going to need my face, you know what I mean, to continue to run it. So that's how I'll be involved with the brand until I die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be a part of me as far as being in the everyday functionings of it. Yeah, we'll set it to the side. But and then my other part of me don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
Because what would the quality look like when you let it go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Like I said, I would like to sell, you know, but that's like far away.
Yeah, it's still a ways away.
Yeah, like for right now, I'm gonna make sure nothing but quality comes out of LES BBQ sandwiches, the storefront, the online, and as well as the pop-ups.
Nice.
I want quality on them people's plates.
100%.
That's what I want to give them. The best experience with barbecue they ever had.
Yeah.
Or one of them. Yeah.
So how's the restaurant doing? I know we were talking about the tour, so you were gone from the restaurant for a little while. How's that doing, and what's your kind of plan with that? Are you wanting to kind of franchise the restaurant, or are you just wanting to kind of open up your own locations in other cities? I know you mentioned that before.
Yeah, we're looking to franchise. The restaurant's been doing good. I realized when I was on the road, we hadn't been open for about 2 months. So there wasn't a whole lot of time to market the restaurant before we jumped out on the road and went on tour.
Right.
And being smart about it, you know, I got over $100,000 wrapped up in that restaurant, and that was before it even opened.
Yeah.
Just to get all the equipment, just everything that comes, people that, and all that come out of my pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that has to be a number one priority. That way you could get the chain of money coming through there. You know what I mean? Because you got to be able to pay those bills, pay your employees.
Yep.
There's all kind of money that has to be paid out. So when I'm on tour and we selling it, you know, everything comes together. You know what I mean? But yeah, the restaurant is doing good. A lot of new employees.
Yeah.
A lot of youngsters at that, people that's never been around food before. And those are the ones I would rather train than somebody to come in there with a bad attitude, feeling like they want to do things their way. It's always good to just train people from the start and you instill those standards in them and they stick to them. Well, you would hope that they will.
Yeah.
But from my experience of working on the rigs, a new hand that used to come up in there, they were very easy to teach, accepted to information. And those are the kind of people that I want working at the restaurant and people that take pride in their work. And that's what we're building. I've been at the restaurant every day. Every day. I start here in the mornings, showing the guys and, you know, walking them through putting the meat on the pit and having it seasoned to perfection. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, you got to have that flavor out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the restaurant is doing excellent, man. I'm just grateful that we got a good team to help us continue pushing forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that you started a new Instagram. I'll put it kind of in the screen below so that people can look it up too. But that one's just all restaurant related for your restaurants. It's LES BBQ Utah. That's on Instagram. Pretty sure it's the same on like TikTok and everything else too. But we'll start posting everything just restaurant related, like what's going on with the restaurants, or like every time you go into the restaurant, or new menu items that are on the restaurant. So if you want to keep up with that, and every time you come to Utah, if there's people that live in Utah, they can kind of catch up and see what's kind of going on other than just on your page, because you'll have a lot of the same stuff too, but this is just another page that people can look at. And you know, and
what it does is it separates everything from the daily cooking to the online.
Right.
I mean, the restaurant, the online and the restaurant. Yeah, because they both run hand in hand. We also take online orders at the restaurant. I look at Instagram, I look at stuff like that, you know, seeing the comments, and I noticed that a lot of people talk about the prices, and to each his own. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing I do know is that nothing in this world is cheap right now. Nothing.
No.
Everything high. Everything high. So you got to believe that I'm paying thousands when I go out there for these oxtails. I spent over 100,000 on oxtails being on the road. Started off with about 50,000 in 2 cities. That was Tampa, 275 cases. That's like $25,000 or more. And then when we got to Atlanta, we got 300 cases. Man, that was $34,000 I spent on oxtails.
That's crazy, man.
On oxtails in Atlanta. Yeah, and we sold all of them in about 2 days.
Yeah.
About 2 days we sold. So everything, the wood, those pallets of wood, $1,800 a pallet. Everything's high.
I don't even think the price is like high. Like that's just for the product. People aren't really realizing how long it's taking and how much like labor actually goes into doing this too. Because you're out in the heat next to a fire, waiting hours and hours and hours, and you're checking on the meat. You're cooking 5 different things at the same time, which all have different temperatures they're supposed to be at, and they're all different ways of cooking them. It's like a lot of people I just don't think a lot of people realize how much actually goes into it. Like even before I came and started shooting stuff for you, like I was just like, it's easy, man. I wish I could do this shit. You know what I'm saying? But then when I'm out there and I realize how much work actually goes into this shit, I'm like,
you're
dude,
just filming it.
I'm like, dude, there's no way in hell that I could just be doing this.
There's a lot of labor involved in making barbecue on the fly, and we're cooking oxtails. We ain't cooking hamburgers, tacos, chicken, fried chicken, nothing like that. We're cooking oxtails on the fly. Nobody has ever done it like this.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No.
I had been selling barbecue for over 3 years, brother, on social media. So I was able to see what everybody had available.
Yeah.
Like the people that had 1 million followers, the people that had 250, 500,000, and so on. I was able to sit back and evaluate what kind of barbecue was being sold and cooked. Oxtails was there, but they were nothing like they was now, brother. Like we really opened up the door when it came to oxtails. We revived oxtails when I started cooking oxtails. Now everybody is cooking oxtails. Everybody.
Yeah.
The style, everything, is being, and like I say, you can't think that people are not gonna copy or do whatever you do when it's inspiring.
Yeah.
But how you gonna set yourself apart from them less, even though you know that that's gonna happen? I'm gonna cut them bigger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut nothing but softballs. That's gonna be my cut. And then I'm gonna encourage everybody else on the side, that's starting to cook these oxtails. You can't be like, oh, you cooking them and I'm cooking them. No, you just got to be able to encourage everybody. Because I've been seeing a lot of names of people that cook start flourishing. You know what I mean? By just picking up their own styles of the way they cook.
Yeah.
And like me painting them red, that was a style. And how do I run them hot? Run them hot, change them colors, and I have an eye for that.
Yeah.
For that color that I want to see the oxtails at. So yeah, well, it wasn't a lot of people cooking oxtails. I may have seen 1 or 2 videos, and then they didn't have no, million followers, million likes or million views on them.
Yeah.
It was just, a few people looking at them. But now that we on the road cooking these oxtails like that, it's changed the game. And you got to be able to have volume.
Yeah.
To complete a task like this. You got to have a team. You got to have people willing to work, whether it's rain, sleet, snow, hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have that mind frame when you out here selling this food. Weather shouldn't pay I don't care. I'm going to get out there and get it in any weather. I don't care if it's hot or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that to be successful at anything, you got to make sacrifices.
Right.
And those are the sacrifices we got to make. Being on the road, driving hours.
Yeah.
Man, we drove over.
Well, that's the luxury, in my opinion, if you're out in the heat all day long. So being able to sit down and drive a few hours in the AC, man.
Yeah, so I want people to understand, where the prices come from. It comes from, like, we had to travel to these cities. Like, we couldn't fly. We drove to these cities, buying all this meat. Like, none of that is cheap. Yeah. And I appreciate the people who just come out and, for the experience and enjoy it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it because we really do. I do my best to try to give everybody the best experience that I possibly can with the control that I have when I'm out there cooking. I want them to have the best experience. So I appreciate the people that don't complain and come out there. Because I'm the kind of person, this is the kind of person I am. If I see a pair of shoes, right? I see a pair of Jordans, and trust me, I buy shoes. I like shoes, right? Yeah. I'll go in there. And there's been time when I went in there and I looked at some shoes and it'd be like $1,500, $2,500. I'm like, no, them not for me. Yeah. And I'm not gonna talk down on them. I'm just gonna keep walking. Right. I ain't gonna be like, man, I wouldn't buy that at 60. Yeah. If I don't want to buy it, I'm gonna keep going. Yeah. I ain't gonna try to tear nobody down. Nike, I ain't gonna tear you down. Jordan, I ain't gonna get on there and say, Jordan, your shoes too damn high. Yeah. That is what it is. Like, if I wanted it, I'm gonna pay for them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do no complaining about nobody else's prices. If I do, it's gonna be in my mind, but I'm gonna walk on off. I'm not gonna get on social media to degrade people knowing they work. I know what it takes to get there now.
And what's funny too is, like, you see, like, some people will say, like, oh, I can, for $60 I can go to Sam's and get like a whole ribs, brisket, and like chicken or something, and I could smoke it myself. And I'm just like, okay, you could, but it's not going to be near as good or taste the same, or you're not going to have the same experience as just spending $60 on something that you have perfected and crafted and made to give people that experience.
Right. And the thing is too, Case, you got to realize people hold small businesses to higher standards. Yeah. And why is that? Like, why would somebody hold a smaller business to a higher standard when they know you coming up from the jump? Like, you don't have all these professionals, like, say if you was working for McDonald's, Wendy's, all these people. How many times have I went to these big chains and got an order that was messed up, but I couldn't call nobody to complain about it because they was out of reach? Yeah. You can't. It's very seldom. You probably won't even be able to get to complain about a hamburger. So what you gonna keep doing? You gonna keep on going. Yeah. Like, you know what? A lot of times I don't even want to turn around and go back. No. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, man, I got it. Hey, I don't even want to go back to the plane. Keep going. You know what I'm saying? So that's just it right there. A lot of people hold small businesses to a higher standard. And I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah. Because you're touchable. You're reachable. Yeah. So they figure, like, you know what I'm saying? They could destroy you with a bad review. Yeah. But it's not like that. Yeah. You got to think, nobody in the food industry is perfect. No. None of them. Hell no. I could promise you every one of them has had a bad day in a cook. And I could promise you that every one of them ain't taste the same all the time. But the goal is to make it look the same every time. That's what you're striving for. Yeah. You're not going to be perfect, but you have to put that in stride to strive for that. To make them want to come back, to give them that good experience.
Well, what sucks is, like, a lot of people just hold them accountable. Like, they'll go to you. That's the thing, is, like you were saying, they'll go to a small business once, and then that's like it. That ruins it for them. But if McDonald's or whoever, big chain, gives them something that's like, I don't know, they put cheese on it or something, they didn't want cheese, they'll be like, whatever. It was probably just the worker that did it. He just, like, fucked up or something. You know what I'm saying?
And keep going.
But if it happens to a one fucking man crew, it could destroy the business, which is sad. I mean, it's like, you work so hard to do this stuff, and sometimes something slips through that you're just not aware of. And
well, the thing is, you can't watch everything at all times. You got to be able to trust people to work with you. So that's one thing about me that I've realized will make building this business so hard, man. Yeah. And it's just having them people that see what you see. Not talking about everybody within the LESB, because just being out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want a crew, brother. I want people around me that sees what I see when it comes to quality.
Yeah.
Like, if you see that plate looks tacky, messy, and you send it out, or I catch somebody send it out, I always ask them, what made you want to send that out?
Yeah.
Like, what are you seeing when you send it out? You don't think that you don't think that doesn't look presentable?
Like, would you eat it?
Right. Like, you got to
Yeah.
think these people are paying their money for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's the hardest part of building a business, because those are the growing pains that I've realized. And it's depressing at times, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, man, I just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving, because I know one thing for sure. Your work won't go in vain. You know what I mean? So all this work and energy that I put into this business, what you see is what's come back from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't work hard and expect nothing not to come back from it. It's got to come back. That's just the way the world turns.
Yeah.
You got to get what you've sold. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to get back on the road. We're leaving here again in September, and we're going to hit Charlotte first. And then we already pretty much got a venue dialed in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And we'll have tickets that we'll be selling. And the reason that we sell the tickets is so that people won't have to stand in line. You know, so if a person feel like, you know what, I don't want to stand in that line, we sell the tickets to get them in, get them seated, give them a more intimate experience.
Yeah.
You know, with the brand. And during that experience, I'm involved. You know, I'm in there greeting them, and I greet a lot of people, man. I tell you, it ain't about the money with me, no, brother. It's about the relationships and meeting the fans and to be able to connect with them. It's unbelievable. It's a different kind of love, brother. Like to have people just cheer you on and want to see you do good. You know, the people that's been down with me for day one, they'll tell me, I remember when you was selling out of your driveway in 2019, right when COVID hit. I'd be like, man, that's when I really started. Selling right when COVID hit in 2019 is when I started selling barbecue. Yeah, so it seems like it's like being an artist in a entertainment industry and music or anything like that. You got to continue to drop hits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to get bored.
You can't go stale, man.
You can't go stale.
No.
You got to continue to drop hits. You got to continue to be creative. You got to continue to wake up every day with your mind rolling. Okay, how can I do better? Because there's always another level.
Yeah.
My boy Richard told me that in the oil field one year. My boy Richard was a driller that came in that I trained. He was my assistant driller. And he told me, and I had been drilling, and I thought that was it, but he made me realize that there is always another level. Even with the level that I'm at right now, there is another level.
Yeah.
You know, and that takes being creative. All it takes is one thought. One thought. I got a good friend of mine that me and this guy's been talking for probably 4 or 5 months, and his name is Bernard. Bernard went viral. Good friend of mine. But the thing about it is before he went viral the way he's went now, I had been seeing it in him. I told him, I say, man, brother, you could cook. You could cook. I say, your presentation, everything looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Bernard posted a video cooking a snake, went viral, blew the numbers out the water.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And congratulations to you, brother. I talked to you, but man, it's just good to see other people, you know what I'm saying, succeed in this business with the barbecue and with cooking, period. Because he cooks more than just barbecue. He cooks all kind of stuff. But we all have our own lanes, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I like about barbecue is being able to have its own character.
Yeah.
And that what you see is what you get from the person that's on the grill.
Right.
You know, everything about him is his passion, his everything wrapped up in that grill.
Well, I feel like with any artist, your personality kind of goes into your work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like your personality goes into how you cook things, and his personality goes down into how he cooks things. My personality goes into the way I edit things and shoot things. It's
Right.
like, and a lot of people, especially when people get kind of discouraged by social media and stuff like that, as you can see, it's changed the life for you. It's probably changed the life for him too.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, don't realize that they say that originality is dead, but it's really not. You just have to kind of take what's there and kind of make it your own.
You know
like
what
how you did with the oxtails and how
Right.
he did with that snake.
You know what I told Bernard, we was talking on the phone one day, and I just told him, like, I always would share, you know, my story. And all I tell people, all it took is one thought.
Yeah.
And me and him will talk. All it takes is one creative thought to push you over the edge.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's all on you.
Right.
What are you gonna do with it? For instance, with me, when I started cooking the oxtails, I started off cooking 3 packs.
Right.
Now we cook, man, hundreds of cases through the week of oxtails. And it's unbelievable.
I think it's even more mind-blowing that you started out of your house.
Right. And we
and
got
now
a whole,
look where we're at.
Yeah, we got a whole compound.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about what you do with that opportunity when you get it.
Yep.
Because take a look at it. When somebody has a viral video and that video has 9 or 10 million views on it, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, hey, 9 or 10 million views and I got 15,000 followers. How many followers can I gain off of that video?
Yeah.
So from that point, you got to keep them rolling, keep them rolling, keep them engaged. So yeah, it's about what are you going to do with that opportunity. And that's in anything you do in this world. When you're given that opportunity, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Me, I put it in mash mode. I put my foot on the gas and I haven't took my foot off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get discouraged too, is when they have a good video or they're posting something that they think is going to be good,
and it's not good.
The next one isn't going to hit, and neither is the next one, and neither is the next one. Because in a way, I am actually going through that because I posted a video, it's got the most views, most likes, all that stuff, and I keep posting something that I feel like is similar to that, and it just doesn't
do
the same thing, and you get frustrated. But I know it's more of just like a long game than it is an overnight thing.
Right.
You know, some people it happens that way, but even with you, I mean, it wasn't just an overnight thing.
It was years.
You've been working for years before that,
Right.
and you're still working now.
I'm still with my foot on it.
Yeah.
Foot on it. And yeah, man, all it took was one thought and a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work to back it up, because opportunities come every day, whether it's big or small. What are you gonna do with it?
Right.
And I love what we've created within the brand, man. Like the cooking, the style, the flavor, like it's unmatched.
Yeah.
Like I know we got the best barbecue food, best barbecue place in Utah.
I agree 100%.
I believe that.
I've been to all
and
of
it's not to brag.
No.
It's the confidence I'm cooking it.
Yeah.
I'm cooking it. I treat it like a sport. So I'm gonna win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let them win. You know, if it come to that, who's tastes the best?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out there. Now we got competition. You know, you got a store open. We got a store open. Hey.
Which is good. A lot of people think that like saturation and like a lot of saturated markets and stuff like that is a bad thing, but in my opinion, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's keeping everybody on their toes.
Right.
And that shows that there's a demand for what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure,
You
man.
know what I mean? It's crazy.
And just getting out there, that's the thing. You know, you could get out there and make it happen.
Yeah.
Get on out there and make it happen, man. We all wake up with the same opportunity to make whatever, to make our day be whatever we choose it to be.
That's right.
Me, I wake up every day with my mind on how can I elevate this business? How could I get the people to engage more? You know what I'm saying? So that's what my mind be on when you see me in these videos. And the business part goes every day, all day. Like we cook every day.
Yeah.
So I always never want the people to get stagnant, you know, at just seeing me cook oxtails every day. So we throw stuff like this up in there. A conversation. Let's have a conversation. Where are you at in your business? What do you think about your touring? How could you do better?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm excited to see what comes of this too, because we're not just going to be me and you the whole time. Like, we're going to have guests on,
Right.
other restaurant owners, other business owners, other stuff to kind of just teach people in a way, like, you know, who's maybe struggling or who wants to own a business or who's wanting to do good on social media, and kind of show them, you know, how it comes about, or just anything really.
Yeah, it's just be, you know, just when we sitting back there by that pit and we cooking, it's just a backyard barbecue conversation. So that's my plans for this platform here, is to be able to have people sit in that chair as well and discuss what they may be going through or what they've went through or what they've done to make their job easier, because you can always share information. You share that information, man, you're able to continue to help other people grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a way to give back to everybody else, like all your subscribers and followers and stuff like that, which is awesome. So.
Yeah, we're gonna be popped up, man. We ready. Like I got a new circuit board. Well, we were spending a lot of money on generators, and I got this big 22 kW Generac on there. And had I really thought about it before we left, I'd have had this electric panel board hooked up to it. So now we don't have to use generators when we're on the road no more. We're gonna plug them straight into the one we got on the pit.
Oh hell yeah!
That right there alone will help me save money.
Yeah.
The
And it'll
noise,
be quieter too.
right? The noise, man, the noise and the heat coming from them generators.
Hell yeah!
And going to get gas every 5 minutes, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, man.
But we made it through. And hey, you live and you learn, man.
Right.
Now, when we get back out there, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been a lot of changes made. Everybody coming to serve you. We coming to serve you, man, and give you the best experience possible. Striving for perfection.
Hell yeah!
Striving for perfection.
When are you going on tour again? I know you mentioned it earlier, but when are you starting back to?
So, yeah, we'll leave in September. Because I want to be able to be here with these new hires and stuff like that we've gotten. I want to be able to train these people to be able to stick to those standards while we're gone.
Yeah.
And that goes with the flavor, presentation, and the cleanliness. Flavor, presentation, and cleanliness.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's what I want to do, get these people trained up. I promise you, we coming back out there, it is not over. You know, one thing about me, once I set something in motion, I'm going to complete it. Failure is not an option.
Yeah.
But I had to be smart about it. I had to come back here and make sure my online and my store are running and functioning at a high level. Because that's the online that's the heartbeat of the business. The store was added on. So I want that store to have food chains all across the country. And in order to do that, you got to have a system in place to sell quality food.
Yeah.
So we're definitely coming back out, and I appreciate everybody and all the patience that y'all have had with me as we've grown. I've been doing my best, you know. I'm a kind of person that like to please people, and you know, because I appreciate the support.
Yeah.
So we're definitely coming back out, and I'm gonna put you in the smoke.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Put you in the smoke.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm excited to see everything and excited to go back to a couple more locations with you on tour and see what it's all about.
And it's going down, man. Y'all stay tuned. This is Texas in Every Way, the new podcast. We popped up. And I'm out.